Is Miles Morales Spider-Man? This discussion, this debate continues to happen all the time. It feels like it's never going to go away because once again on Twitter, I saw earlier today trending Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You dive into those tweets and there's a huge variety of discussions going on about people saying that either Peter Parker is the only Spider-Man or Miles Morales is Spider-Man, but he should have a different name just so he's different and standing out than just being Spider-Man just like Peter Parker. And then anybody who's not Peter Parker in terms of being a Spider-Man should be named something different because they're not Spider-Man. Peter Parker's only Spider-Man. It's like, okay, lots of discussion, lots of different debating points here. Here's how I look at it. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Okay, fair, right? If you look at the comics, Miles Morales is Spider-Man. This person's Spider-Man. This person's Spider-Man. There are so many Spider characters. Now, there are some like Spider-Gwen, right? Spider-Pig. There are different multiverse versions or just different interpretation of a spider character. And I guess what really it's boiling down to in terms of Miles is saying that Miles should have a different name than being just Spider-Man. It should be something else. Well, if you look at the comics, especially in certain instances where Peter Parker is no longer Spider-Man, he's dead or retired, especially when he's dead and he's not around anymore, who picks up the mantle? Who picks up that mantle who has the same abilities, or at least similar abilities? Miles. And he is called Spider-Man. Now, of course, when we look at the Insomniac Spider-Man games, Spider-Man, Peter Parker was around, and then Miles got bit by a spider as well, and then he's now teaming up in Spider-Man 2 with Peter, and they're working together, the whole symbiote thing and everything, and Venom and all that. They're both Spider-Man. I get the point of saying Miles needs to have a different name. I understand the point because he could be his own individual, hero name. But if you're going to say Miles Morales needs a different spider name or just a different name entirely than Spider-Man, you're going to have to go through all these other characters within the multiverse, especially when you look at across the Spider-Verse, all of those spider characters that are in some sort of way a spider character, and a lot of them just being Spider-Man, then you're going to have to rename all of them. If you're going to say that Peter Parker is only Spider-Man, you're going to have to rename everybody. And that is so ridiculous because that would just take too much time and it would be too confusing. Because the way it's been established is that throughout the Spider-Verse, the multiverse, or whatever you want to call it in the Marvel comics, and even in the Across Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man Sony animated films, that a lot of these characters are versions of Spider-Man, and they may have different names, but realistically they're all Spider-Man or Spider-Woman in a sense. Like there's all these versions, so it's a lot. Stan Lee, a lot of people just don't really mention this much. I feel like people forget about it. Stan Lee, who created Spider-Man, made a point to say the whole point of having the entire suit cover the individual is that anybody can be Spider-Man. Anybody. And when you look at what they've done over the years in the comics, Spider-Man has encompassed so many different characters in terms of who's been Spider-Man, right? And I feel like it's just weird all of a sudden, recently, it's more of a debate and discussion because Miles is a Spider-Man. I'm not going to say why, but I mean, it seems pretty obvious why some people would be having a issue with that. I'm not going to go into it, but you know what I'm talking about. But it's interesting, before Miles comes along, everyone's fine within the Spider-Verse comics if somebody from some sort of Earth that isn't Peter Parker, but they're called Spider-Man, they don't have an issue with it. But as soon as Miles gets the name, or takes the mantle, or whatever situation it is that he becomes Spider-Man in whatever continuity, there are a certain amount of people that are against it, that don't like it. They feel like he should be a different name, or he's just Miles. So here's what it is. I don't see Marvel ever changing his name in terms of his superhero persona. I don't see them ever giving him anything other in terms of name-wise Spider-Man. I don't see it happening because it's already been so ingrained in the comics. Now, there may be a point down the road where they may change something, right? They may change Miles is his like superhero name, but what do you change it to? I have no idea. But I don't see it happening. But that's just me. But yeah, to me, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Miles Morales is Spider-Man, and all these other characters throughout the multiverse, the Spider-Verse, they're Spider-Man or Spider-Woman or a version of something spider. They are those characters. And it should not be an issue because it's storytelling. These are characters. And to get more frank and be more blunt, it shouldn't matter that much. But apparently it does to some. I don't understand why. Because I love this stuff, but man, I don't get worked up over this kind of crap. It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, Peter is Spider-Man, Miles is Spider-Man, this person, all these people. Their version of the Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, whatever. That's who they are. It's not that big of an issue. At least I don't think it is.